Hi guys, Nesty here. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about our new exotic monster, the Sherry. So let's directly go in and take a look at them. Let's start with the fire one. Stat wise, she's really an interesting one. She has a lot of defense. Recovery is not that high, HP is not that high, but overall acceptable. Let's take a look at the skills. The passive is a zap with an 80% chance for 2 turns. It's not that bad, there are a lot of better skills, but at least it's a bit useful. The active is a heal with the defense up, a really strong skill for the Titans. Sadly it's only 2 turns, but with the books it will get 3 turns. We will come back to that later. The leader skill is perfectly tailored for the Titans as well. An attack lead, a decently one. Attack in general is a really nice skill for Titans. The element in general is not lacking leads, like every second monster has a really strong lead. But in case you are missing one of them, this is perfect. Especially for you guys that have already some Titan monsters, like the Shinos, Wukongs and those. But you were not lucky enough to get them as a variant. There, she's perfect with the attack lead. Let's go for the books first, that makes more sense. The fire one overall will get 20% activation rate for the zap. That means it has a 100% chance to land the zap, and even for 2 turns. That's really a good one. It's lowering the resistance a bit. I'm not sure, I think it's 5% or so, like really low, but better than nothing. There are a lot of Titan healers that have a really useless passive skill, so why not? Better than nothing. Defense up, like I said, is going up to 3 turns. That's just perfect. I would say the only monster that is a bit better stat wise and with the self heal is the Fire Pixie, but obviously she's a rebirth monster, so it's not easy to get her. Don't know when she will rotate back in at these festival rebirth, but the Sherry is totally fine. Really strong monster for Titans. She will also get 25, I think, yeah, 25% heal. That means 5%, 10% and 10%, overall 25% increased recovery. Really nice, because it's with the +1 turn as well, so we basically only have 3 slots for the recovery up, which is 5% and 2 times 10%, is really nice. Also helping a bit with the low recovery, so fire is a really good monster, you should go for this one. Let's take a look at the water one. Yeah, as we can see already, the stats really suck. HP decent, but the defense is really sad. Recovery is okay, but the defense is a big problem here. She will need for sure trinkets if you want to use her. And another problem is that the skill set is really not that strong. Overall, she will get 20% activation rate for the passive, which is an 80% chance for 1 turn defense down. It's a weak skill. It would be really cool if that would be 2 turn. And then we have the shield here. The shield is getting, or overall she's getting 25% recovery rate as well. and another turn. The turn is normally not that interesting. The problem is it's a flat shield. Flat shield means it will always be 10,000 HP, which is a really weak shield. So it will break really easy. You don't need it for 3 turns. Often it's either breaking directly in the first turn, or it will take 2 turns, but after that the shield will break. Yeah, it's an advantage for some monsters that are not taking damage or anything, but it's really a small advantage, so water in my opinion is not that nice. There are just a lot of other really good healers in the water element that you don't need this one. Let's take a look at the wood one. Stat-wise, in my opinion, a bit better than the water one. Yeah, it's lacking a bit of recovery, but at least it has a bit more defense. Like, this is still really low, but at least not that crazy low. Also a bit more HP. Yeah, as you can see, 10% heal based on her own max HP, plus a shield that is also based on her own max HP. Overall, a decent monster. If we take a look at the books, she will get nothing on the first skill, which is a bit sad. Would be cool if she would get 5% more. Like, a lot of these 3-star monsters, some 4-star monsters were all climbing to 15% with the books. Now the Cosmos, for example, was getting 15%. Then this, what was the dark one? Can't remember. There was a dark one which also got an increase. Jack also got 5% increase. So yeah, Jack overall then 10% I think, but at least all of them had 5% increased HP, which is a bit sad that she's not getting that. The active is getting 25% like the other ones, and another turn. Here the extra turn in my opinion is a bit more worth because the shield is much stronger. I think it's 16 or 17% of own HP, the shield. I can write it in the comments if it was 16 or 17, something around that. I will have to take a look at it. But let's just assume it's 17%. Pretty sure you can bring her to around 100k HP, which means the passive will heal 10k HP, and the shield will be, if the shield is really 17%, it will be a 17,000 HP shield. There you can see already the difference between this flat shield and the other 2 versions. Here it would be a 17,000 shield instead of 10,000. So the wood one is decent. I think she really needs books to start shining, because the defense is not that high and some more recovery is also really nice. But it's a really decent choice. Like I said, especially with the trinkets and that stuff, she's, in my opinion, even usable in the arena. Like, don't expect that you beat the top of the top, but it's still usable. The light one. Yeah, stat-wise, a bit screwed. The attack is really... Why is it having so much attack? The attack stats could be really needed in HP and defense. Like, the recovery is really high, but yeah, defense and HP lacking a bit. Especially we have to keep in mind that it's a 4-star, natural 4-star, so the stats are a bit higher. Yeah, basically same skill set, just that it's 2 types for 2 turns and a bit lower chance to hit it. With the books, it's exactly the same as the fire one. 20% activation rate for the zap and 1 extra turn for the defense up. So yeah, it's, I would say, a dark light version of the fire one. The zap is a small bit better, while obviously it's really hard to make use of a light one. If you keep in mind what elements we have. The fire one has the pixie and now the sherry. The water one has endless of them, like just the Cotine alone is enough. Then we have even better stuff like the Bastard and all that stuff. The wood element has the Hana, which is also not that hard to get. So we have enough of defense up that we are not in need of this light one with the zap. There are just some better ones. If you are missing some, obviously that's still a decent choice. But I'm thinking, why go for the light one, which you have to fuse, if you can just go for the fire one. You can use the fire one against, for example, both LDs, stuff like that. Also keep in mind what lineup you're using there. If you are making use of exposed weakness, it's not that easy to use them. You have to figure out the animations and all that stuff. I would say the light is a decent choice, but not the top choice. And then here we have the dark one. Stat wise, I'm also not that much of a fan of her, but at least in my opinion it's better than the light one. HP and defense are also not crazy high, but the recovery is extremely high. Could be higher, the HP, but what can you do? Book wise, she will get 20% activation rate for the defense down and another turn for the attack up, which is really important. Also just 20% recovery up. So basically the RGB versions have all 25% recovery up, while the LD versions only have 20%. Here we can see again, this is the MSL logic. Less stars, better books. Which sadly is with a lot of monsters. One extra turn for the attack up and 20% for the defense down. What is it making with this monster? I would say it's in a bracket where it's usable, while it's not on the level of the Dark Venus, which is basically the top contender for the attack up. She's really strong because I think all of them have the instant cast, which is by far the most important one for the attack up, that you are directly profiting from an increased damage. Sadly the defense down is only one turn. With 2 turns it would be extremely strong, but with the 1 turn it's basically just a nice gimmick. It's just cool to have, but you can't rely on it. But overall it's still a really strong one. This 3-turn attack up is really worth a lot. And if I saw that correctly, she's not that slow with the animation of the active, so some monsters might be able to directly profit from it. That would need some further tests. So how would I rank them? In my opinion, the strongest one is the dark one, because she's really versatile. You can use her in a lot of teams. You just have to take a look how you are making use of her low HP and defense. Obviously that needs trinkets and all that stuff to balance at least the bad stats, while with recovery you can basically heal everything. Pretty sure you can even go HP defense, for example, with the gems. 3k recovery if the double HP gems and the defense gem all have some recovery as substats. She also has a 20% increased recovery, so it's really easy to give her some recovery. Then I would say the fire one and the wood one are kinda equal in my opinion. The fire one is a really decent healer against the Wood Titan, while the Wood Monster in general has a lot of uses. You can use her story, DOC, basically everywhere. She has a double heal and 2 really good heals, so it's nothing that speaks against the Wood one. So my ranking would be Dark first, Fire and Wood together the second place, and the other 2 together the third place. I have some Fire Cherries already. I just used her. So let me show you how I'm using her in my Titan team.
Does the beat take you over? You just can't breathe. Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones? Does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones? Does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones? Does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones? Does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you? Take you? Do you feel your bones? Does the bones take you? Do you see the spot? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to take you out? Do you feel your bones does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you out? Do you feel your bones does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you out? Do you feel your bones does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones take you out? Do you feel your bones does the bones take you? Do you feel your bones?